Hang on, everybody. We are here doing a mock draft. Let's get right into it. I love doing mock drafts. They're just fun to do, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't think the Bears are going to take a wide receiver. We'll do one with trades later on. I think they're going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. Just been a great receiver, best receiver in college football for years now. He would go number one if the Bears stick there. Bears will probably trade back. Obviously, if Caleb Williams is still available, Washington's taking him without a doubt. And New England's just going to take the best quarterback left available, which would be Drake May. So those three picks are pretty simple. As we get down here, I think, honestly, the Cardinals are going to take this dude here. I cannot pronounce his name. He has not given up a sack this season. I quite love that. He's been pretty solid all year. Great grades. I think they go ahead and pull the trigger on that dude. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I will not try. The Giants, honestly, the Giants have an interesting pick here. Do they go Brock Bowers? But I think they are paying Darren Waller for quite a few years. So I think they go with the best receiver in Malik here. He's had a fantastic year, absolutely dominating. He's been great outside of Wisconsin, which whatever. Who cares? I think, honestly, they take another receiver. 2 receivers off the board in top 5 is absolutely crazy. But the Chargers, they're going to pull the trigger on Brock Bowser. I don't see them not doing this. I mean, if he's still there, if he's available at that pick, they're taking him, no doubt. Guaranteed. The Titans, they could use a wide receiver, so Romeo here would be a fantastic pick for them, giving another weapon for Will Levis to have. They could have taken a lineman there too, but maybe they pull the trigger and do what Cincinnati did and draft a wide receiver instead of a lineman. And the Jets, they're going to actually take the best quarterback available. Let's be real here. Aaron Rodgers probably only has one more year left in him, and you're not trusting in Zach Wilson. They're probably going to move on with him at the end of the year. You need that guy to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, you want the Heisman Jalen McDaniels behind you. He finished the year on fire. No doubt pick here. I think they will definitely take him. The Falcons, they need a quarterback as well. They are probably steaming at that McDaniels has been Daniels has been taken, but they still have a chance to get Michael Penix Jr., who could jump up this draft stock even more. He dominated Texas in a playoff game, and guess what? He's playing for a national title tomorrow, and I can 110% think the Falcons would love getting Michael Penix at number 9. He might go earlier. They might have to trade up. The Bears, I think they continue to build what they can around Justin Fields. They got their potential, another franchise receiver. I think they go ahead and go with Joe Alt. I don't love that he gave up a sack, but it is what it is. He had great grades. He didn't give up a sack last year either. Great grades just all around. He dominated Stanford. He's been really good all year long. Put in their tackle, giving Justin Fields as much hope as you physically can, and that's their goal. I think the Raiders, they're just going to go with the best defensive player available, which you can make an argument that it's Newton here, but I actually quite like Dallas Turner a little bit more. Adding another rusher alongside Max Crosby, dude had 11 sacks this year. He's been dominant. He did struggle a little bit against Michigan, but it is what it is. I think they pull the trigger. They have to draft him here. The Vikings, they would love to get a quarterback, but honestly, they're all off the board until Bo Nix, and I don't think they pull the trigger on Bo Nix at number 12. Maybe they trade back, but I think they stick here, and they're going to take the best defender available, which in my opinion is Kool-Aid McKenzie. Get an elite quarterback to pair up his line. God knows who else, because they don't have much great on defense. But they get an elite quarterback is a need. Every team would love to have somebody like that. Again, the Saints, they could use a quarterback. I don't think they're going to get one here, but they would love to take Newton. They could use any defensive player to help out. They could use a little bit of offensive help too, but with the... the Broncos, I think they're just going to keep building on defense because there's not a quarterback. Their offense is going to be bad next year either way you play it. This way, you get a guy who finished the year out on fire. Jarrett here, just an absolute unit. 11 sacks, great season. I think they take him without a doubt. It's a need. They're going to love that pick right there. I think Seattle's going to probably try to keep building on their O-line here and take this guy who I cannot pronounce his name. 0 sacks. He did struggle a little against Cal in Washington, but he didn't give up a sack in those games, so I don't really care that he struggled a little bit. Probably just wasn't a great run blocker in that game. Does have great run blocking, though, stats. Not as good pass blocking, but that can be worked on. Seattle is fantastic drafters. I think they have to build that O-line up a little bit more. I think honestly that the Bengals they're going to need a quarterback. They need defensive help, and Nate Wiggins is going to bring that defensive help. Actually, don't know. Would I take Nate over Cooper Jadine? This is the white guy, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure this is the white dude who's probably going to end up becoming a safety. I would almost assume, right? Why isn't he showing up? Okay. I don't love that. Cooper. Here we go. Yeah, he's the white guy. He's going to come in and play for Team White right away. But he has probably been one of the best cornerbacks in college football. He had a great grade last year. Not quite as great this year, but, he played a little bit less games. I think, honestly, they pulled the trigger on him first. And then Nate Wiggins is still available. I think the Cardinals, they need a cornerback. I think they're going to go ahead and pull that trigger as well. Pittsburgh, honestly, they just need anything offensively almost outside of wide receivers. But Arnold here has been dominant as a cornerback. 5 interceptions, a great year all around for him. He dominated throughout and through. He's got great run defense. I think they just take him, add to their DB room, kind of a need. Obviously, technically, I don't believe that Green Bay is going to take a wide receiver because they don't do it. But Brian Thomas Jr. is a must-take. 17 touchdowns, an absolute phenomenal year. He finished the year off fantastic right there with his teammate Jalen Daniels, not McDaniels. And I think you have to pull the trigger. You have to draft a wide receiver. You can't let Jordan Love develop without at least a top tier wide receiver. I think they're gonna have to go there. For the Buccaneers, wow, I cannot speak today. Holy crap! I think they're just gonna go with the best pass rusher available. This dude dominated, played for UCLA, so. But he had 15 sacks. That's absolutely amazing. I think this is quite a steal at number 20. They do need an edge. They're going to go ahead and take their edge. Honestly, I think the Colts, they kind of want a receiver. But is Troy Franklin too much of a stretch? I mean, he had a great year. He did kind of do okay against some of these better opponents. I think, honestly, they need to put another receiver next to Michael Pittman. I think the Colts take one right there. Jacksonville, honestly, they need some defensive help. They need basically everything. But they're going to take Chris here. He had 13 sacks, absolutely dominated Auburn. He did struggle a little bit against the last couple teams in the year, but he had such high grades and everything. I like this pick for them. They need another pass rusher to put next to Josh Allen, who opened up the field for him. I think the Rams, they pull the trigger on Bo Nix. They have at least one more year of Stafford probably at the end of this year. I think they're going to have to figure something out here. And I think Bo Nix is the perfect dude to do so. He's been absolutely amazing. It's kind of crazy. He's this 22nd overall pick. He might go top 10 by the time the draft comes around, which is as crazy as they're picking him at 23 right now, which is absolutely nuts. Tackles a need. JC is right here for you. 2 sacks. I don't love that. He's been pretty good all year. I don't know who gave up the sacks to. They did play 2 really solid teams, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and take JC there. They need a tackle. Added a tackle. The Chiefs, they need a wide receiver, but there is none. They might go with Ladd McConkey here. I think this is honestly, they just need to take a wide receiver. They have to have somebody for Patrick Mahomes to throw to other than Travis Kelce. I think that's who they're going to go with. Wide receiver is not a need. There is really no top tier holy crap. There is no top tier linebacker. Honestly, I don't know who they would go here. I don't love Ernie here. He didn't have the best of years, did play every game. He struggled against Florida. I don't love that pick. Kamara, though, I do quite like this pick. Higher grading, 50% passer rating, great coverage grades. I do think this is the better pick, and it kind of feels like an Eagles pick. They're not going to necessarily take the best guy available. They're going to just take that guy. I think that's a really solid pick for them. I think Detroit still might want to keep building on their D lineman, and this dude, I cannot pronounce his name. He is the perfect guy to draft here. A 90. Jeez, this dude's great. And I think you put him next to Aiden Hutchinson, and you got one hell of a duo. I know they needed a couple other positions, but that is a great draft pick for them in that situation. The Texans, they don't need a wide receiver. I don't know why it says they do. Honestly, I could see him wanting another tackle to put on the other side of Laramie Tunsil here. And who's better than Mims? I mean, he only played 7 games, so this is the best sample size. He doesn't have the greatest thing, so maybe not Mims. Do we want Jordan Moses? He did give up 2 sacks, but he has a really good pass blocking. Yeah, let's go with him. Jordan Moses, I think honestly, just protecting CJ Stroud should be their number one priority if you're the Texans, and I think that's what they do there. The Miami Dolphins, they need O-line and they need tight end. They probably just pull the trigger on Mims here. They could also probably use an additional cornerback to put next to Jalen Ramsey, but I digress. The Cowboys, they're just going to keep building on their defense, I think, personally. I think Leonard Taylor II is a great pick here. He's been a really solid pass rusher, good runner, blocker. I think this is a guy that they're going to want. This is a guy, they need a good D lineman, and that's what they're getting right there, obviously. You're just going to take the best player available. They need a cornerback, they get a cornerback. And then finally, my Baltimore Ravens, they're going to just take an edge rusher. That is going to be the biggest need. Obviously, they've had a couple older dudes playing over their contract this year. So if they could develop another dude here in TJ, this is a guy most people think they're going to take, and I think they're going to take him as well. If you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that follow or subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next